All right, good afternoon, ladies. Welcome to our monthly session for the month of August. And I'm happy to be here. So this is my last time having this session from Nigeria. By next month, I'll be having it from the other side, like you already know. So yesterday I saw Tulu and Lasbon Ibukun at Heavenly Portals. Anyway, so to the topic of today. Today, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be mixing and matching about 4 topics that you guys talked about on the group. But the major topic for today would be leveraging the growth mindset. And I figured that it was more important to just couch it that way so that it caters to every area. I know the specific question was about the abundance mindset, but the truth is, when you have the growth mindset, it translates to abundance across different areas of your life. All right, so let's get to it very, very quickly. So first things first, what is mindset? According to Oxford Languages Dictionary, because I don't have my own personal definition, mindset is an established set of attitudes held by someone. So anything that you believe, any way that you act, any attitude that you have, and you do it consistently, you hold it as gospel, you hold it as truth, that this is what obtains. I'm just saying the comment. This is what obtains, then that is a mindset. Now, according to Carol Dweck, who is a psychologist, who is, in fact, she's a major proponent of the topic on growth mindset. In fact, if you Google her name, Carol Dweck, Dweck is D-W-E-C-K. Check her out on YouTube. You might see one of her TED Talks where she's talking about mindset and the importance. Very fantastic woman. She talks about fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Now, a fixed mindset is when you think that your mindset cannot change. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be. Nothing else can happen to it, as that it will just remain exactly the same. However, a growth mindset basically believes that there is so much more that you can learn, that your intelligence can grow, you can become even more as long as you keep learning. So from your learning and from other experiences, and as time also passes, basically. So it's basically saying that from the word growth, grow, that the fact that your mindset, say, for example, your mindset is like this, a growth mindset is basically saying that it will never remain like this forever. It has capacity to keep increasing, and keep increasing. Okay. Now, there is an example that my coach and mentor, DDK, likes to use a lot when she wants to talk about a growth mindset, and it's called the analogy of the growing child. So when you give birth to a baby, so we'll have a few married women in the house. The rest of us will not giving birth to a baby yet. But everybody, whether you've given birth to a baby or not, you've seen a baby and the periods when a baby has had to be breastfed. Now, when you give birth to a baby and they're breastfeeding that baby, many times when they're giving their breast, his mother will be touching their hair, like the thing is really entering, they're really feeling the breast milk, right? And for them, at that point in time, the breast milk is the best thing that has ever happened to anybody on the surface of the earth. Now, guess what? By the time we begin to get to maybe 9 months, 1 year, and maybe a year and 6 months, depending on who is the mom, and she begins to introduce other foods, like maybe mashed potatoes and mashed chicken and all this sort of stuff, just begin off breast milk, for example, and you're introducing the very first time the baby will eat that mashed potato or mashed chicken, they would almost look at you like, oh my God, so you mean there was something like this in this life and you're giving me just breast milk? Why? Because they are growing, and as they are growing, they desire new things, and as they desire new things, they are seeing that, oh, there is something fantastic. So what I used to think was the best in practice is not totally the best in the world. There is still more. And as that child now grows and becomes like us, and you're eating fried rice, you're eating asu, you're eating everything, and you're like, hey, you mean all these things were there before, and I was just relegated to Cerelac, and breast milk. You see what I mean? So that's the same thing that happens in the growth mindset, because at the beginning, where you think you are, you think, oh my God, I'm here, this is fantastic, I'm doing great, I'm doing amazing. But to step to your next level, you've got to be willing to learn And cases, how do you know that making fried rice? Ekushe, well done, be making it. So you begin to see that where you are now is fantastic, right? And to go to the next level, you've got to learn more. You've got to experience new things. You've got to, just step up basically. And if you are unwilling to go because you say, no, that's too far for me, or it will be too hard, it will be too difficult, I can't do it, then it's a problem. Every human being has what is called expandable brilliance, which means if you think you don't know something now, if you give yourself some time and devote to learning, you would actually know it. So I'll give you a practical example because I like to give examples, right? So I'm not great in mathematics, and I just did it to pass, and I made efforts and just to pass. But since after it wasn't compulsory for me to do math anymore, I always hand it over to someone else. But guess what? I'm going to school, right? As you all know, and in school, two of my courses. One is statistical something, and the other one is financial management. And all these things have to do with quantitative figures, right? And guess what has happened? Because my school understands that many of us who are coming into the public administration area, we all come from either arts background or social science. So they understand that we may not all have quantitative skills. So they signed all of us up on the program, a quantitative skills platform called ALEC. ALEC, something. And so this platform is basically going to teach you maths, teach you quantitative skills. But before they will teach you, you have to do a test. The test is about 30 questions, and they tell you that don't say you don't know, try to calculate as much, just try to do something. And then the computer would automatically gauge what you know, the topics in math you know, and the topics you don't know. And then over a period, they now begin to create courses and training for you so that you can learn and pick up some quantitative skills that you will need before classes start in September. Now, if I do not have the growth mindset, I'll be like, no, math, no, math is a problem. I can't do it. And I'll probably go and look for another course to take. But because this is my future, this is something that is really important to me. And because I believe I have expandable brilliance. I mean, I know what I did to pass maths when I was in SS class. I read maths like English. I kid you not. I found out all the topics that always come out in WAEC. Simultaneous equation, quadratic equation, longitude and latitude, bearing, factorization, angle of elevation and depression. Check and see the way I'm measuring it. I studied all past questions to know what are the questions that always come out. And then I told myself, I don't want to have 100/100 in maths. I just need to pass. And so I started going through all these topics to find out the ones that were easier to do. So I saw that I could do simultaneous equation, I could do quadratic equation. That angle of elevation and depression, I just left it. I tried to read it, it was no entry, so I left it. And I just peaked, I studied it. And guess what? When the results came out in SS class, because it was only then in an F4 school, you have to pass JPE, which is called the Joint Promotion Exams, before you can move to SS3, which means that for you to pass JPE, they are sure you're going to pass WAEC. So we're only two people that pass maths and English, and I was one of them. Other people that they will pass maths, they will not pass English. Why? I went the extra mile. Before I would sleep at night, I would bring up my mattress to the corridor in my secondary school. I was assistant head girl in the corridor of the prefect room. I'll bring it out. I would study by myself because so I have expandable brilliance. So I was reminding myself that I did this in secondary school. So not now that I even know the implication of why I need this for my destiny and my future, I will do it. I have expandable brilliance. I won't say, no. I'm done for. No, I can't do it. I can do it. So anything you put your mind to, you can do it. So it starts from you, the individual. If you think you cannot do it, my dear, you cannot do it. If you think you can do it, you would call up something within yourself. You rise up to the occasion and you do what you're supposed to do. To go the extra mile, that's because I've not really had time to go on that ALEC platform to do what I'm supposed to do. I've also downloaded this Elevate app. I used it last year. It really helped me with my quantitative skills and my English practice and all that. And I've subscribed again for 1 year. It's a game, but even as it's a game, you are learning and you're picking up things because I am intentional. I really want this math thing, my quantitative skills to go to the next level, right? So why am I giving this example? Because I need you to see that each and every one of us, there is something in our life that we do not like. There is something in our life that we do not want to do. If we had our choice, we will not do it. But when you see that you actually need it for where you're going to, you've got to ask yourself, am I going to do this or not? Am I going to have a fixed mindset in this area, or am I going to have a growth mindset in this area? Because if you notice, for some of us, we might have a growth mindset, maybe in a particular area of our life, but it is not evident in other areas of our life. We feel that, no, maybe my spirituality, no. There's a way to talk to God. Anything outside that, no, it doesn't work like that. But that's not true. Our God, you can't have a fixed mindset in your relationship with God. You have to give God room to do and undo. Yeah, you have to. You can't box him because, I mean, he's that big, he's all-knowing, all-powerful. You can't really expect how he's going to show up, right? So it's the same thing for each and every one of us. So as I'm speaking, I want you to begin to think, are there areas of your life where you have fixed mindsets? And then maybe the other side, oh, maybe you're doing well, growth mindset is there. You must ensure that overall, across all areas of your life, you have the growth mindset. So you might now be thinking, so how do I develop this growth mindset? First, acknowledge your weakness and do something about it. So I know I'm not a math guru. Yeah, I'm not. And I'm going to do something about it. I've gone on the ALEC platform to even do the first test and gauge where I am. Oh, okay, by the time that test was done, they said, oh, I was great at 70-something topics, but then I need to brush up another 70-something topics. So guess what? That platform would automatically create my own training to focus on those areas I do not know and teach me what I should know to improve my quantitative skills. I can now stop there. I've also downloaded the Elevate app because I want to help myself and my destiny. So acknowledge your weakness. It's not a bad thing that you don't know something. No, nobody knows it all. That should be some consolation, right? Nobody knows it all. Yeah, so acknowledge it and then begin to do something about it. The second is view challenges as opportunities. So when you begin to see that, so this math quantitative skill, I need it because if I'm really going to hold certain high positions and I am in charge of ensuring that that parastatal, that government agency or international body is doing right, I want to be sure that when somebody brings the books of that organization to me, they will not boo me, right? I will not see it and think, we're making money or no money hasn't been stolen. Meanwhile, if my eyes could see, if I had the skills, just looking at certain numbers on the spreadsheet, I can tell that something fishy is going on, or I can tell that, oh, we're not doing so well and we can do better. So always see challenges as opportunities. Can you see how if maybe you had extra knowledge, extra skills in that area, how it can make your life better or the life of your beneficiaries, people you are called to serve? Okay, so you've got to always see those challenges as opportunities. The next one here is know your learning style and use the right learning. So please, my dears, if by now you do not know your learning style, it's a problem. It is a problem. So there are some people who would rather be in a session like this with me and see how I'm talking, how I'm demonstrating and all that kind of stuff. And there'll be some other person who wouldn't even want to watch a video, just wants to listen audio. There's some other person that would rather someone just summarizes everything in a text and sends to them. So you've got to know what is your own unique learning style, because when you know your learning style, it's easy for you to now look for materials in that area you're trying to improve yourself in that form so that it is easy for you to abide. See me, I've gone to download game because I learn a lot through games, something that is interactive and fun. I've been doing my French regularly. I have a very good long streak now and I'm doing it almost every day because I love gamified learning. It feels like I'm having fun, like I'm not too serious, but I'm also learning. I like to also be in the environment where my teachers are so that I soak. So whenever there is anything that has to happen with my coach and mentor, DDK or Mr. Ritimi, I would like to be present at the venue because for me, it's not enough to just hear. I want to see, I want to observe what is going on in the environment. So you've got to know what is your own unique learning style so that this difficult thing that you are now trying to learn, this challenge that you're trying to surmount, it's easy for you to learn to surmount it because you are using tools that appeal to you, tools that suit your unique personality. Okay? So remember, we're still talking about how to develop your growth mindset. Another point you need to know about developing your growth mindset is the fact that your brain can change throughout life. It's something that they call neuroplasticity. The fact that the way your brain is right now is not the way it's going to be forever. As you learn, your brain keeps on developing, keeps on improving itself. It's almost like you are rewiring your brain. And you see, that is what we do when we're doing all those positive confessions, we're taking certain actions. You are training your brain to see things in a different way, right? So don't ever think that, oh my God, this is how I am, nothing can change. No, you've got expandable brilliance. You, the human being, you have capacity to retrain your brain to be the way you want it to be, just the way I'm doing with math. Don't worry, I'll come and give my testimony in some months or years' time. I'm now maybe not necessarily a math guru, but now comfortable with figures, right? So same for each and every one of you. You can totally retrain your brain, totally. If you didn't know how to drive a car before and you now know how to drive a car, you did something. You taught your brain something you didn't know before. Yeah. Then prioritize learning over seeking approval. Now, this is really important in our generation now because many times people just want someone to say, well done. Let them write on your Facebook post, well done, you are doing well. And you know you're not really doing well like that too, but you're just there for the accolades. My dears, it's really important that you, the individual, you're learning, you are growing, you are evolving, as opposed to whether anybody's saying well done or not. You know. Because guess what? When you do the deep work inside, it will spill over. Whether you do anything or not, it will spill over. It will be obvious to everyone that, wow, there's something going on here. There is a change in this person. And you get to the point where even when they are now giving all the approvals and all that, you're fine. You're cool with yourself because you know what's important, right? So focus on the learning process. Don't look at what people are saying, whether it's good or bad. Focus. Prioritize learning over approval. Then it's also important that you focus on the process instead of the end result. And this is about enjoying the journey. So many people are so fixated on when I become, when I get there, when this happens. How about now? Are you happy in the moment? Yes, things may not be perfect right now, but are you learning? Are you appreciating your journey? So me, anytime anything happens to me, I'm always seeing what I can learn in that moment. I'm always seeing the learning. I'm always seeing something to be thankful for. I'm always seeing the possibilities, because I know that I just remember the conversation I had with someone. That's why I'm smiling. I know that the fact I am here today does not mean that's how it will be forever, but even then I'm still thankful for where I am. Okay, so enjoy your journey. You're a work in progress. You're all going to shine. You all are going to be superstars. Take it from me. Because it will rub off. All of us will all be superstars. Because I mean, they say when you are in the company, when you hang around 9 rich people, you are the 10th one. When you hang around smart people, you too, you follow, right? So all of you, because you're all smart, you're all hardworking, as long as you just keep on doing your work, we're all going to shine. We're all going to be stars, right? So don't wait till when you get there for you to be proud of yourself. No, enjoy it out, because guess what? When you get to the new milestone, there will be another milestone, because remember, we always want to evolve, right? And so you're going to see that it almost seems like there's a continuous journey towards becoming, towards doing more, towards being more. And if you have not taking your time to smell the coffee or smell the roses, like some people would say, you would now get there and you'll not be feeling like you missed out on a very important part of life. Enjoy the process each day, each relationship, each achievement, each progress. Progress, very important. Then cultivate a sense of purpose. You've got to have something bigger than yourself as the reason behind what you're doing, because that's what's going to encourage you on the days you're down, on the days you don't feel like doing anything. Very recently, some days ago, one of my younger sister's friends reached out to say she didn't feel like, she was discouraged and she didn't feel like doing more, and she doesn't have the zeal to go on, basically. And then she remembered that she had seen a post where I had said something about me not feeling up to doing it, but I showed up. And so she was asking, how did you show up? And this is one of the reasons how I was able to show up. Cultivate a sense of purpose, something bigger than you. When it is bigger than you, you know that it's not about you. There are people, their destiny is tied to obedience, their destiny is tied to the work you do. And so you can't afford to be slacking around. It's not about you. It's not about you. So cultivate a sense of purpose that is bigger. So that would help you to reach deep inside and show up, because you really do need to show up. Okay. Now, the next thing about your growth mindset is that you must choose learning well over learning fast. So many people want to say, I read 365 books in 2021, one per day, whatever milestones it is, they're all hitting. It's not about how many books you read. It's about, can you tell us about the content, or how has that content made a difference in your life? How are you using that thing that you have put in yourself to make life better for yourself and for other people within your sphere of influence? Okay, so it's basically about learning well so that you can use the knowledge, as opposed to just saying, oh, so that you can say, I've done 100 courses, I've done so and so. There's no prize. Or have you heard there's a prize for it? There isn't. Okay, well, maybe those that get into Guinness Book of, what is Guinness Book of Records? Yes, but even then, so please focus on learning well. Yes, and learning well over learning fast. It's not a competition. We all have different pathways. We all have different things we're supposed to achieve, and we all have different needs. I can't come and be competing with you about how many books you have read in a year. Maybe my own peculiar need is I want to read books in social innovation. Then you are reading everything because you want people to say you've read. No. I can't do that. That's a waste of my time. And my time is very important. Finite resource. Time is a very finite resource, so do not waste it. Then the next one is reward effort and action, not traits. Now, this one is very important, and it is something that every woman should know, because you would also use it with your children. So rewarding effort and action means that, so for example, you want to write a book, right? You don't say you are going to reward yourself. Only when the book has come out, is in print, that's now sold 1 million copies. No, that the book has been designed. Wow, fantastic job. That you have written all the chapters and you've now handed over to an editor to read through. It's something that the editor has now approved that it's fine and it has gone to print. It's something. So you've got to reward the effort towards it. It's also almost the same thing as enjoying the journey. So reward that effort and action. So just like maybe when your children, you have a small in-house competition with your kids, and when everybody finishes, you now give only first position, you don't give second and third. No, that's not good, because what you're supposed to be checking is, did the second and third position, did they really make an effort, and did they do better than before? Reward that. Don't only reward number one, reward the fact that they made an effort and they are better than they were before. That is actually what is important. Okay. Then this one is so important. Learn to give and receive constructive criticism. And this is really important today, because we have a lot of people who are emotionally fragile. So you give them feedback and they will tie it to their chest. They will not know that you're only trying to help them. They will just take it badly and they will not learn what they're supposed to learn. Meanwhile, if they flipped it and actually saw that this information is coming from a place of love, you really want them to do better, they would actually do better, take their lessons and do better. So ensure that you receive constructive criticism and you learn. In my house right now, I remember when we worked together on a project some years ago, and she's my friend, but you see, when it was time to work, I'll just give her official, say, do like this, do that, and she was like, that I'll just go into boss mode. I will not even, so she found it weird that I would just leave friendship and just enter madam mode and all this. It was weird to her, and she didn't find it funny. She didn't like it. So it made me to also put myself in check. So usually when they will send me messages, not just herself and some other ones, when they send me messages to give an update on work, usually they will maybe start with maybe saying hi, explaining maybe how are you, explaining me, because I'm a problem solver by nature. When I see the message, I get to the problem I get to where the problem is, and I already start typing my response to the problem. Oh, do like this, do like that, do like that. But guess what? Because of that feedback, I learned that even after I finished typing my own original response, which is solving the problem and responding, I now go up in that chat, space down, and say my own salutation. Oh, I am fine. How are you too? Before the response. And I know that because it's what happens to me. That still happened to me this week with my program manager. She said a series of things and asked a question or wanted to solve something. I solved the problem first. I was about to hit send when I remembered, oh my God, I've not greeted. So I greeted, I checked, and then of course the message followed. So you've got to be willing to give and receive constructive criticism because they help you to grow. Remember, we're talking about having the growth mindset, right? Now, as much as we're saying that, oh, Annie is saying that she was emotionally fragile before, but God has really helped. I'm happy to hear it. Yeah, it's really important. So, but as much as we are saying that you should be able to give and receive constructive criticism, please know when it is bad belly. Yeah, because there are people who just want to say stuff to you to intentionally pull you down because they feel like your self-esteem is so high, you're doing so good, and they just want to make you feel bad. They want to make you feel less. So you've got to really know who you're calling. Yes, bad belly is real. I'm serious. So you've got to really know who is giving you feedback. Is it coming from a place of love, or they're just trying to mess you up, basically? You've got to know. So who can you get constructive feedback from? You can get from God. Yes, God corrects people. You can get from God. You can get from your loved ones, family and loved ones. You can get from colleagues. You can get from friends. You can get from your bosses, people who have worked with you. Yes. All right. Now, need for improvement does not mean failure. Do not be scared to fail. Yes, this one is so important. So many of us, the reason we're not willing to try our hands at something, make an effort to have the growth mindset, is because we are afraid we're going to fail. And we don't want to fail. Excuse me. We've all grown up in this environment where it seems like we've been trained not to fail. We've been trained to see failure as the end of it all, as the worst thing that has ever happened to someone. And that is bad. That is bad because it causes a lot of people to shut down. Many people are not willing to try to do what they're supposed to do because they feel they would fail at it, so they don't bother. And that used to be me. I'm a very organized and calculated someone. Before I do anything, I plan ahead and I see, can this work, can it not work? If I can't see a chance of it succeeding, I won't bother trying it. The last year, God taught me experientially that it's okay to fail at something. And the fact that that thing failed does not mean your life and destiny failed. It is just that thing that failed. So it's really important that you know that failure is not the end of it. And I was reading this book, Startup Nation. I really love that book. The book is about Israel. And in Israel, people are allowed to fail early so that they can see that it's okay to fail. So that's why they have this training, or they give them opportunity to start businesses, start all sorts of things. And whatever you experience, whether it succeeds or whether it fails, it is fine. And so you will hear many Israelites, they can probably tell you, oh, I did this, it didn't work out, I'm not doing this and all that, because they grew up in an environment that encouraged failure. That the fact that you failed at something does not mean it's the end of the world. It just means, okay, that did not work with the pathway you chose. You can come up with something else that can work, right? So we've got to learn that the fact you failed at something does not make you, the human being, a failure. You can't be a failure when you are still alive. You can't, because there is still a chance for you to change something. There is still a chance for you to make use of knowledge and become better. There's still a chance for you to do something that will turn the story around. So you can't be a failure if you are still alive. If somebody that has died and maybe there is nothing that can be done about it, that people can say is a failure. But if you are still alive, you're still breathing, there is always a chance that something can turn around. Okay, so your need for improvement does not mean that you are a failure. Please, could you all say something to me in the chat box? So I'm sure you're still here. I know Anne is here. The rest of you, I don't know. Are you still here? So say something. Let me be sure that you're still here. Your favorite point so far before I continue. I've mentioned several things that can help you improve your growth mindset. So please share with me the ones that resonate with you more. Okay, so I've asked the question. So don't just tell me you are here. You have to now answer the question. So people refuse to talk. Okay, Chidima says, admit your weakness. Yes, admit it and do something about it. So it's not enough to admit it is there and then you are just there waiting. No, you admit and then you do something about it. And Kiru says, you can't be a failure when you are still alive. Absolutely. Absolutely. Manuela says, focus on the learning process. Awesome. Anne says, for me, it's learning well over learning fast. It makes so much sense. Awesome. Ibukun says, cultivate a sense of purpose. Cultivate a sense of purpose. Okay. Who else? Emanuela says, view challenges as opportunities. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. So I can see that you are still with me, but I'm not just speaking English, I'm going. All right. Thank you all so much for responding. I appreciate that. Tolu says, there's always an opportunity to learn in every challenge. Absolutely. Ibukun says, my brain can also change. Yes, yes. The concept of neuroplasticity. Awesome. Now, reflect on your learning every day. So if you're someone who journals, this one is good. So everybody should be like this. You've got to reflect. So I went out today and I experienced so and so, and what do I learn from it? What is important? What do I see about relationship with myself? What do I see about relationship with people? What do I see about, just dig deeper and get the deeper meaning from things that happen and tell yourself, what do you need to change? What do you need to adjust? What are you doing well at? How can you even do better? So reflect, because when you do that, you are intentionally, again, you're retraining your mind that these are the kind of things to do or not to do. All right. Then learn from the mistake of others. Many times you do not have Okay, so the network took me out for a bit, but now I am back. Okay. So I'm talking about learning from the mistake of others, and I'm saying that you do not have to make the mistake before you can learn from it. If someone else has made the mistake, it's also fine to learn from theirs, okay? And yeah, it's okay to learn from their own mistake. Then always see learning as brain training. Remember what we talked about earlier about retraining your brain? Yes. And then of course, cultivate grit, resilience, and your bounce back ability must be on point. So the truth is, for everything that you're going to do that is worthwhile, you're going to face some form of difficulty, and that's not the time for you to back down. And that is why you actually need a higher sense of purpose. Because if you do not have it, the day things discourage you and you're about to back down, you're about to just say, no, I can't come and kill myself, like Nigerians would say, you remember that, oh no, this is beyond me. There are people who are tied to the work I do, and you're going to be willing to dig deep and do more. Okay, so you've got to have grit and resilience. You've got to have grit and resilience. And then, of course, never, never, never stop learning. The fact that you have gotten to this point and you're doing fantastic does not mean that is, oh, no. You've got to keep learning. You've got to keep adding and you keep doing more. So that's why I'm excited when I see Tolu saying she's going back to school to study something, or I'm seeing Chidima saying she's researching for her PhD, and the rest of you, with the stories you share with me, it makes me excited, because it means that you don't just want to stay where you are, you're willing to go to the next level, learn, so that you can go to the next level. And then, of course, you must understand and know that it takes time to learn. So there's no rush. Remember what we talked about earlier, choose learning well over learning fast. When they are going to build a Rolls Royce, it takes a really long time. But when they are going to build, for example, a Corolla, they don't really need to waste that much time. right? So if you are really trying to build something worthwhile, you've got to be willing to put in the time to learn. Now, so how does this reflect in other areas of your life? When you have the growth mindset about maybe finances, spirituality, relationships and marriage, personal development, and all that, it spills over. It just makes you an all-round human being. It just makes you, first of all, people want to relate with you because they like the kind of person that you are. You are just this competent human being. People want to be around because they know that you are excellent. People want to be around because they know that if they're around you, they get to learn. They learn something new. Can you hear a voice in my background? Please confirm. Can you hear? All the while I've been speaking, are you hearing another person's voice in the background? Confirm. NK says no. Okay, awesome. So you become a better human being. You become a competent worker because people want to work with you because they know that, oh, this person is fantastic. This is a perfect team player. You become an excellent individual. People know that when it is you involved in something, it gets better. And guess what? This thing spills over in our relationships, in our working life. It just affects every area. It does. Okay. And people just want to be around because, you have this positive vibes. And basically your life shines and you get to inspire others. So when you say, whoever asks that question on our group and say how to use the abundance mindset in relationships, in friendships, and in different areas of your life, it's basically about having that growth mindset. Because when you have the growth mindset and you see that whatever you have now has the possibility to become more, that wherever you are now is not all there is to you, and there is still more to your life, you now begin to take necessary steps to become better. You are willing to learn, you're willing to invest the time, you're willing to observe what is going on with other people, taking the learnings from their own mistakes and seeing how you can incorporate it into your own life. Okay? So that being said, I'll move on to the next question that was asked. And that question was about what are the tools for rapid execution? And if you were here when we had the video, the session where we talked about rapid execution, rapt expression, and radical evolution, you would understand what we are talking about. If you haven't, please go and watch the video. I'm not going to repeat myself. So tools for rapid execution. The first thing is you, because in rapid execution, we're basically talking about your ability to take your learnings and begin to do something about it, right? So the tool for rapid execution, the first tool is you, the human being, because for you to be able to do anything worthwhile, you've got to be involved. You've got to have the right mindset. You've got to have the right beliefs. You've got to have the right attitude. You've got to be disciplined. So if you have all the fantastic plans in the world and you have not made an effort to be disciplined, to actually take action, to have the right mindset that can carry that work, nothing is going to happen. Nothing. So it's an inside job. So you are the first tool. You, the human being, you are the first. The second thing you can do, you need calendars and scheduling. You've got to fix that into your life, because what gets scheduled gets done. The reason I'm having this conversation with you today, because it's been on my calendar, we're going to have this session today. And even though my friend is in the house, I told her, I said by 3 o'clock, I need to meet with my mentees. My self wanted to meet with me and pray. I told them 3 o'clock, I have to meet with my mentees. So they had to pray and finish before 3 o'clock so that I could be here. Because what gets scheduled gets done. If you don't schedule it, you're most likely going to forget. If you don't schedule it, you're most likely not going to prepare for it. So a tool that helps with rapid execution is calendars and scheduling. So put it on your calendar, schedule, block off time at so and so time. So I've been counting down to my trip, right? For the past few weeks, every day there were things scheduled. And there were times that nothing was shared. It was for me to sleep and rest because, yeah, if I'm not okay, I can't really deliver. So I've got to be okay, right? Yes. So your calendars and scheduling is very critical for rapid execution. The next is batching of tasks. So you need to have a timetable. So let's say you've already scheduled that, oh, today you're going to do this and do that, but you've got to batch it. So from what time to what time? So that you're not just wasting time, say, we're doing this, meanwhile, nothing is really being done. Okay, so yes, sleep can be scheduled, absolutely. Yeah. Do you know, sometimes I come back home, I've had a really long day, but I still feel like there's something else I want to do at home. I want to do some work, personal work, but I can see that I'm tired. I go and take a nap, 2 hours, and then I wake up, I'm refreshed, and I can run for maybe the next 2 to 3 hours. Yeah. Okay. So batching tasks, so you need to draw a timetable of work that needs to be done so that you know what you're supposed to do part-time and you don't forget anything that is important. One thing that I always advise people to do is batch your tasks, have a mix of high level activities and low level activities. So when I say high level and low level, so high level might be something that maybe is really intensive, that would really require you to use your brain a lot, your brain power. So for example, like me now, I got distracted a bit. I saw something in my house. Anyway, so if I'm going to take my courses on Visionary Compass, so I have to watch the video from the instructor. And as I'm watching, I have to take notes. And after taking notes, I need to write out the questions in the workbook on a document. For me to do that, I need to block off about maybe an hour to 2 hours so that I can fully concentrate and do it. So that is in-hour batching. Now, that is a high-level activity. Now, a low-level activity for me can be doing laundry. So I can mix it. So I can be that I'm putting clothes in the washing machine, but then I'm listening to a podcast. For example, I've been listening to this book by Elon Musk's mom, Maya Musk, and every time I've only listened to that book when I'm washing. I'm not done now. It means more, but it's only when I'm washing that I put it on so that I'm doing. So you can see that I'm actually doing something that is important for me to do, but it's not really breaking my brain per se. It's not hard work. Yeah, so you've got to be able to mix it so that you don't feel like you just keep moving from high task. You're going to get tired. Your brain is going to get fatigued. So mix it. So when I also, for example, I'm playing my French game, I can be lying down on my bed playing it. I am learning, but I'm relaxed. I don't feel like, I have to be sitting down writing notes. No, I'm not under any pressure whatsoever. So you too, you've got to think about it. How can you arrange your schedule so that you don't feel pressured? Because if you keep on doing high task, high level task, back to back, you might get really fatigued. Okay. And it might not help you to execute as fast as you really want. And then the next one is journals. So I have several journals. I have, where is it? Okay, so this one that is in front of me has my notes I'm using for this class. And this one is the one that I use to itemize weekly task to-dos and daily to-dos. So if I have that, then when I need to teach anything, I would write out my points, bullet points in this book. And then I have the one where I use for my notes, maybe when I'm watching certain coaching programs and I need to take notes by hand, I have that. And then there is the vision journal, which is on my laptop because I'm trying to make sure that I have journals, digital and physical copies. Yes. So you've got to journal. And as you journal, you write your to-do list, you can check things off. I just remember what happened this morning again. So my cousin came in to make she was supposed to come last night and she said she couldn't come. She's coming this morning. So I had to move it from my to-do list of Saturday to Sunday. So while she was here trying to set up, I was writing the to-do list for today so I won't forget anything. And I wrote make hair. And she's like, but I'm here now. She's like, I'm here now. Why is make hair still on your list? I said, have you touched it? Have you started doing it? We're not yet sure what you are doing. So let me write it. I'll be sure that it's going to happen today. When you start, I will tick it off that it has been done, right? And so that's how journaling can also help. So journaling is not only when you're writing deep stuffs. No, it could also be when you're writing your checklist of the things that you need to do, so that you can keep track of the things that you have done and the things that maybe you've done halfway or you haven't done quite exactly, and so that you can do them properly. It helps with rapid execution, because sometimes you might forget the fine details. And then when you now want to execute, you now see that something is not there and it becomes a problem. And then, of course, another tool for rapid execution is apps. There are tons of apps you can use to make your life easy. Please always leverage technology to make your life easy for you. So what apps can you use for your calendars? There is Calendly, there is Google Calendar. Your normal Google Calendar can do the work for you. And sometimes you can even just have Evernote or your memo pad on your mobile device, where you write things down with date. It works. It works. And then another thing that can help you, and that tool for rapid execution, is alarms. Alarms are such a great way to trigger you to do the right thing when you're supposed to do it. So you all already know my example of confessions. When you have your alarms for confessions at key times of the day, when you hear it, it gingers you that this is the time to do so and so. Yeah. So alarms also work as a tool for rapid execution. I also know some people who set up work in a way where they will do, they are batching their work, say for example, from 9 to 12, they are going to work without looking in any other direction. But they set an alarm that, and once the alarm goes off at 12 noon, they stand up and move on to another task. That is being intentional about how they want to spend their day. So alarms work. And then, of course, accountability partners with consequences. Notice I did not just say accountability partners. These accountability partners there must be some consequence. It's only when there is consequence that people pay more attention. Anybody who is diligent will pay attention whether there is consequence or not. But there are some people that until there is a consequence, they're not going to pay attention. So you've got to ensure that your accountability partners, there is some form of consequence. For example, all of you in this group, if I start to tell you that we've got to agree from today, anyone who does not submit their weekly updates by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday is going to pay a certain amount of money. And of course, that money is people that will agree by yourselves to say, if you don't send it in by 11:59, you're going to pay 5K, or you're going to pay 2K, or whatever amount is you want to pay. It has to be something that is going to pay you, but there's going to be inconvenience a bit so that you're going to be willing to do what you're supposed to do. You will see that your submission rate in timely fashion is going to increase. Did I give you an example, or did I give you guys a gist of a friend of mine who was going to write the HR certification exams, and she decided that if she does not meet her schedule every week, she was going to pay me 20K. She paid the first 2 times. And I had to tell her, okay, madam, we've got to fix this. If you are not meeting your schedule, what do we need to change? How do we need to tweak your life to ensure that you're able to meet your schedule? Because again, I don't just want to be collecting her money. I want to be sure that she's actually moving on track towards achieving her goal. And guess what? She eventually wrote the exams and she passed. So whenever there is an accountability system and there is a consequence for not meeting it, whether you have a good reason or not, because many times there are good reasons for not doing what we're supposed to do. When there is a consequence, it makes you to sit up and do what you're supposed to do. So have a meeting with yourselves and decide how much are you going to start paying when you don't submit your updates by 11:59 p.m. Just kidding. But on a more serious note, we've got to think about consequences. But when I see all those updates that come after 11:59 p.m., I told you guys I don't see it. Anyway, so those are tools for rapid execution. Now, to tools for rapid expression, it's interesting that the person who actually wanted this is not here on the call right now. Let me see. Okay, yeah, she's not here on the call right now, but she's going to see the recording. Tools for rapid expression. Again, you, the human being, you are very, very important. You've got to have a growth mindset. You've got to also have the right teachers and coaches. because wrapped expression, is about you having different dimensions of yourself growing, right? It's not just that, oh, you're successful at work and that is it. The other areas of your life, you know, maybe giving back to the community, your flow of benevolence, your flow of influence, you know, all those things are also working. Okay, so you've got to have the right teachers who show you the possibility that there is a way to go about it. You've also got to have the right prototypes, because many times some of us, there are things we want to do. You have this crazy idea and like, but I've never seen anybody do it. How can I be an architect and I'm also teaching teenagers? I've never seen anybody do it. So you need prototypes, you need models, you need to see people who are doing something like you want to do or that looks like what you want to do. Because when you see that, it helps you see that you're not crazy. It helps you see that what you really want to do is possible and that there are other people in the world also doing it. And then, of course, learning and execution. It's not enough for you to just keep gathering all the information. Then when it's time to act, you're not doing anything. No, it doesn't work like that. So you've got to execute. All right, so I hope this has been very helpful. We started out talking about leveraging the growth mindset. We moved on to talk about tools for rapid execution and wrapped expression. And now the second to the last thing is there was a question about relevant associations that one can join. So this is how I'm going to answer that question. The first thing is that I am not going to give you the names of associations you should join, because you all are from different sectors. And even if you're in my sector, I will not give it to you. You know why? Because it's very important for you to do research. As someone who wants to grow, you must be willing to do your research. Whenever you research and find out something by yourself, it helps you to take ownership of that knowledge. That's why when we're growing up, I don't know if any of you experienced this, when you would ask someone for the meaning of a word, maybe a parent or an older person, the meaning of a word they use, and they'll say, check the dictionary. You know why? They know that once you open the dictionary by yourself, I can't recommend for you, Enki. You know why? You're in a different sector. I don't know what, I can't give your sector a name now. So I can't now tell you which one you're supposed to join. I'll just give you guidelines. My guideline is to help you make that decision. Do your own research. It's very important. You've got to take ownership. When you find out something by yourself, you know it in a way nobody can take away from you. We've got to stop the culture of always wanting to be spoon-fed, most especially when the information we are looking for, if we actually just go on Google now and search, we'll find it. So if we're not doing that, then it means we're being lazy. We want to always tell us what to do. And I'm not going to allow you to be lazy, not on my watch, okay? So like I've said, I won't do it for you. You've got to research because I want you to take ownership. But what kinds of organizations should you be looking for? First things first, you've got to know what sector do you want to play in? That is, what sector, what field, what industry do you want to be known? Do you want to be a force to be reckoned with? Do you want to be a name in? Then ask yourself, what is the international, or what are the international associations, professional associations in this industry? There will be several. Then find out which one is the number one, number two, number three. Then look for reviews about all of them. Then look out for, okay, so how do I join? What are the joining instructions or membership criteria? Do you have them? If you have them, by all means, move on and join. If you don't have them, can you create a plan and work towards being a part of them? It's possible, totally doable. So you find out one at the international level, find another one at the regional level. So regional here could be on the continent, so in Africa, or in West Africa, or in East Africa, or in Southern Africa. But you've got to find out one for the region. You've also got to find a national one. So which one is the association in Nigeria? Is there, for example, a National Medical Association if you're a doctor? Yes, there is. There is a Nigerian Bar Association for lawyers. So that's at the national level. then they'll be, so you can see what I mean. So you have at the national, you have at the regional, and then you have at the international level. Okay. So when you join any of these associations, it helps you to begin to showcase your knowledge and your expertise in that industry. So today, someone sent me the program for the World Safety Congress taking place next month. And I'm speaking at that program, right, but I've not seen the program. So I went through the program and I realized we're just 2 Nigerians speaking on that platform. I'm the only woman from Nigeria. Yeah. It was interesting to see. And interesting because I know I'll be speaking on the World Congress platform in September. I'll also be speaking at the West African Conference also in September. So you can see, because when they were looking for, yes, you know, you would submit your abstract. For the World Congress one, I submitted an abstract and mine was chosen, right? For the West African one, they ask questions. Who do we get to speak on child safety, school safety? And somebody mentioned my name there. And that was it. So for that to happen, it's because you were a part of an association. The other professionals in your industry noticed you. They noticed your work. They noticed what you were doing, enough for them to say, okay, yes, this person can represent us. So it's really critical. Find the relevant association for you. Do your research. So assignment, do your research and get back to me, whether you want to join them or not. Do your research and get back to me on the professional associations in your niche, sector, field, or industry across these 3 levels: national, regional, and global, international. The 4th question that was asked, or the 4th one before I wrap up for today, was how do we create animated social media slides? So there are 2 people that you should follow on Instagram right away, because these ones, they're really killing it in terms of, they have all this lovely information about tech tips and tricks and how to, make all those amazing things on social media digitally. And the first one is, there's a lady, a berry called the Digitalist. If you check on Instagram, I think her handle is the Digitalist or the Digitalist HQ, something like that. Please check. The second one is called Miss Techie, MISS Techie, TECHY. They do amazing stuff. They always share information about cool apps and tools that you can use for your digital social media graphics and graphics. However, if you want to do something right away now without looking for those people, you can go to Canva and search animated media. I think they call it animated media or something. You would see there are tons of examples. Many people use Canva to do that. Canva has a free and a paid plan. With the free plan, you have access to some things, but with the paid plan, you have access to more things. So the choice is yes. Okay, so that brings me to the end of all I'm supposed to share for this month. I would go through the other remaining questions that came in or topics, and we'll decide which one is going to be used for our session in September. I hope this has been useful for you. Please share with me in the comment section what has been your highlight, your takeaways from today's session across the different areas we've spoken about. Please share if it was helpful to you. Please share if basically just give me feedback. I need to know, has this been a good use of your time? Has this been helpful to you? And yeah. Whose voice have I not heard today? I haven't heard. I haven't heard. No, you can read something in the comment section. So I saw that. Who else is here? Adiola came late. So yes. So please share so that I can read. And then so that we can dismiss, so I can go back to my friend. All right, please share with me. Has it been good for you? Can you still hear me? Because you are not talking to me. I don't know if we're still together. What exactly is going on? Yeah, and I've been seeing that. Been going in and out. I'm listening. Or I should close. I can stop the record, you know. I can actually stop it. NK was logged out. Yeah, so before NK and Anne that just came back in, I'm asking for your feedback and highlights from today's session. We are done. We are done. So I'm just getting feedback. What stood out for you the most? What are your takeaways? What have you learned? Has there been a good use of your time? Yes, we're just doing that so we can wrap up. But personally, I'm done for today. So who's speaking to me?
Yes, okay, so let me share what I've learned so far. And in fact, while you were saying it, I was relating it to myself. And I discovered that, there is something you said earlier regarding having a certain mindset, thinking that there are some things that you can't do. I've forgotten the name you called it, but it's a kind of mindset that when you just glue to it and you said that this is it, it doesn't change, it's like this. Yes, fixed mindset, yes. So I just told myself, I said, NK, you do have this mindset, because I was telling my colleague in the office that there is nothing in program office that I can't do. In fact, I do everything. But one thing I have issue is writing proposal. That thing is not that I don't know what to write. I can say it with my mouth, but ask me to write it down is the problem. So, and I've been battling with writing, most especially writing whatever I think I have in mind, or whatever, how I can even explain it to you very well that you understand, but tell me to put it in writing is a challenge. And it got to a point that my mind just finding it was just fixed there that NK, this writing thing, and sometimes it fluctuates. Sometimes I want to play strong and say, NK is a lie, you can write. Later I'll just go back to, they work. So I try to, I see that that's one of the mindset I have. And with this, I'm going to try, no matter how rubbish I'm going to write. In fact, there was a day I wrote something and sent to a friend of mine that is not here in Nigeria, and he told me that I write the way I talk. And when he said that, like, is it that it's bad, or is it that he says because that
Why didn't you ask? You ask me. I say, how do you mean? Is it good or bad? Yeah, you will ask.
Yeah. Well, based on his feedback, he said that sometimes I give information that are not needed. Like, I'm so detailed that even when the information is not needed, I tend to put it, and then everything looks so bulky and all that. Like, hey, okay. So that alone, when he said that, scared me a little bit, and I feel like, hey, okay, you know, be right, So that's a fixed mindset I have, which I'm going to start, working around it, and that is something that has really stuck with me. And the hope, you actually gave me a hope. The hope, you said that for as long as we are alive, that failure, we shouldn't, I think I wrote it down somewhere, something about failure, that for as long as we are alive, there is hope, we shouldn't fail. So it's a hope for me. It's a hope for me, a deep one, because last month I was down. It's not just by my health, but there's something that happened in the office. I was down. Like, my salary was literally cut to the lowest. In fact, I don't know how to explain it. I couldn't cope. If I got to a point, I had to speak with my boss. I had to go to her house and then speak with her on it. And she told me there is nothing she can do. What if she does this for me? What about other stuff? And I told myself, and in my mind, I was like, what I do, my life that I've put in this job should not be compared to say what's of other staff, because other staff, the 50% is just like a staff earning let's say 300,000, and the 50% of that staff is 150, comparing to a staff that is earning maybe like 50,000, and you cut the money to 25,000 or 24 something. You cannot compare. So it's something I'm just trying to put myself together, and how to see how to start restructuring my budget on how I spend and how I buy things. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's something that really weighed me down. Sometimes I just decided not to be on social media, and I just feel like I don't want to see anything, So you've given me hope, honestly. With this class today, you've given me hope. You've told me that no matter how slow I can be, I can still make it. And you've also given me the answer that I've been longing for, which you said that learning well should be taken over learning fast. I think sometimes I bother about learning fast because I feel like with the years of experience I've worked in this NGO sector, there are some things I should have known. In fact, there are some places I should have been. But now I want to thank God and thank you so much for giving me the hope of knowing that learning well is very important, which is far, far more better than learning fast. Thank you so much.
So much for sharing that, NK. I'm so sorry about what happened at your office, and I know God is going to give you wisdom so that you can make the right decision. And try not to have offense in your heart. I know it can be hard when money is concerned, but try not to have offense, because when you don't have offense, it helps God fight for you. So try not to have offense in your heart. Just keep doing your work, keep being amazing, because you see, when you do good work, it's not for the organization, it's for you. Because if anything happens and you need to leave the organization, you will your goodness, you take your excellence, you take your good ethics with you to any other place you're going to. You won't drop it behind now. It's part of you. So don't bring down standard, just do the right thing and all. Okay, Emanuela says, thank you so much. Our mindset is really fundamental. Once the mindset is geared towards growth, all things will fall in place because there is a will to grow and be better. Absolutely. Anne says, for the part I was able to get, it was more than useful. It's given me a renewed focus for my goals because I've been really distracted lately. I'm excited when I listen to you because it's a reminder that I can do more. I'm going to really begin to focus on expanding my mind and learning more intentionally. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, we have expandable brilliance, all of us. Okay, so just a few people have sent, so far that means 3 people have given their feedback. So the rest of you, I was just blabbing, right? Okay, Buko has. Buko has.
Yeah, I was actually at work. I'm at work now, so that's why. So what I learned so far is me not being afraid to fail, because though I've been having this mindset, like sometimes if I even want to do something, like if I fail, like okay, don't bother to do it. But with this class, that's actually taught me that I should not be scared of failing. And also, you said we should reward every effort and action, like in sense that what may I got from the part is that even the little things I've done or the little things I'm going to do, I should reward myself in it. That like this word I said, I should not despise the days of little beginning.
That our favorite statement from you at the physical hangout last month. So okay, so Ibuku, you're muted. Just in case you don't know, you're now muted.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah,
So another thing that got my attention is I should never stop learning. I should keep learning, keep researching. And he also gave us the assignment that we should look for organization that we want, communities that we want to belong to. And though I've been doing my research, there was a time like that I messaged you that I wanted somebody that can give me a feedback on a course I wanted to take. With this class, it has really, really opened my mindset. It has changed my mindset towards some things. Thank you so much. Thank you. And your hair is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, thank you so much for that. So we're talking about communities to belong to. I'm also talking about professional. I'm actually more referring to professional associations. Okay, so communities are great, courses are also great, but the assignment specifically is professional associations that you want to join, that you should join, or that are relevant in your industry, national, regional, and global. Okay, yes, who are the others who haven't spoken? You have not spoken, you have not written anything. Please tell me what exactly you would want to do before we wrap up. We need to go in the next 5 minutes or thereabouts. So who's going next?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Okay. So which of you will go first, Diola or Chidema? Okay, Diola it is. Can somebody write the assignment for Enki, because I'm not going to write it. So somebody write it in the chat. So Adiola, go ahead. As briefly as you can, because now we're running out of time. All of you are taking your blessed time. And I want to rush you, and we have to go.
Hello.
I can hear you. Okay, we can't hear you, Diola. Okay, Chidima, can you try? I think the network is doing something to Adiola. I learned that I shouldn't be scared of failure. Okay. Okay. Ruth, since you guys want me to mention your names. Tolu. Okay, so this brings us to the end of our session for today. I think Giola is trying to speak, but network has been messing her up, and the others, I'm not begging you. So thank you all so much for attending our session today. I hope that today was really useful, was a good use of time. And more importantly, I hope that you're going to take what you have learned and see how to implement. Because for me, it's really important that you implement what you're learning. Be someone who takes knowledge and implements it in your life right away. Don't waste time. All right, so thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll see you next month for a session like this, but we'll continue our weekly sessions on the group.